Good afternoon. A cold case that goes back 5 decades is solved. Westminster police say they now know who killed 20-year-old Terry Becker.
She was last seen on the 4th of December in 1975, last seen hitchhiking to see her boyfriend at the Adams County Jail in Brighton. 2 days later, a couple riding motorcycles found her body near 100th and Lowell in Westminster. But in 2003, a DNA sample from the case matched up with another rape and murder in Las Vegas. Police there also didn't have a suspect. In 2018, police used the DNA for genetic genealogy testing to find any family matches. 5 years later, they identified a suspect, Thomas Elliott. Police say he's been dead for decades. He took his own life in 1991. Back in October, Las Vegas police got permission to exhume his body, and last month police identified Elliott as the unknown male in both murders, bringing some closure to the families. We'll have more on how police solved this case coming up tomorrow on 9 News Mornings. People charged with crimes who face questions about mental competency sometimes wait months in jail for treatment.
Jefferson County launched a new program this morning to address this problem and move cases forward. 9 News reporter Kelly Rinke was inside the courtroom to watch how this works. Kelly.
Yeah, Kim and Tom, this program was created because of the backlog at the state level. More than 350 people are currently sitting in county jails waiting for restoration services. Competency courts like this one are popping up around Colorado to hopefully reduce those wait times. The idea is to release some inmates from jail so they can get competency evaluations in the community rather than wait behind bars for services. Here's how this all works. 6 defendants accused of low-level felonies, think assault, appeared before a judge this morning on a video call. All of them are inmates at the Jefferson County Jail. No cameras were allowed inside. But imagine this, a room filled with community providers, attorneys working on a plan. If a defendant is released, they will be connected to wraparound services, transportation, housing, sober living. The hope is this minimizes the wait for services at the state hospital if more people can get help out of custody.
Hopefully, eventually impacting those who remain in custody, that their wait time is less because we're treating these individuals through other providers.
Now, defendants will have to check in every 2 weeks. There are several of these competency courts around Colorado. The first opened in Larimer County in 2021. Since that first year, more than 150 clients received competency evaluations in the community.
And Kelly, because you've reported on so many of these cases that are high-profile murder cases and other cases, these are low-level crimes, and it really will make a difference in the system.
Yeah, and also think of all the family members too. We had a father that spoke in front of the court talking about how much he loved his son and wanted to make sure that he got the help that he needs. These are people that are mentally incompetent, that need additional services, and families that are hoping they get that treatment.
Yeah, you think about those family members that have been begging for help.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly. Today, state senators introduced a new amendment for Colorado's Constitution to give sexual abuse survivors a chance to hold their abusers accountable.
For far too long, we have let institutions and individuals that cover up sexual abuse off the hook. Survivors deserve to be able to access justice at a time that is right for them, not based on an arbitrary timeline.
The amendment would get rid of the statute of limitations for victims to pursue legal action against abusers and institutions. Colorado passed an act in 2021 that gave survivors the chance to pursue civil claims, but the state Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional last year because it violates the state's constitution's ban on retrospective laws. If the amendment gets at least 2/3 support from the state House and Senate, it will go for voter approval on the November ballot.
104th now back open at this hour, but a man was hit and killed by a car there earlier today. It happened just after 11 this morning in the eastbound lanes of 104th near Marion. Police say a driver hit and killed a pedestrian. The driver did stay on the scene and is cooperating with police, who are still investigating what may have led up to the crash. Here's an update now on the train derailment in Keensburg on Monday night. BNSF says the tracks reopened at about 4 a.m. this morning. Colorado State Patrol says that Amtrak hit a semi that was carrying 10,000 gallons of milk after it had failed to stop at a stop sign. A train engineer is in the hospital now with life-threatening injuries, and there were 3 passengers who also had minor injuries. CSP says as of now, no charges have been filed in the crash, but they could be coming in a few days ahead.
A potato-filled semi-truck caught on fire and caused a closure on C-470 this morning. It happened about 6 a.m. in the eastbound ramp to C-470 from 285. Sky 9 was over the scene as firefighters worked to put out the fire. West Metro Fire says the semi's brakes caught on fire. The ramp was closed for about half an hour as crews got a hold of the fire. No one was hurt, but lots of crispy potatoes on the other end. Yeah, that was just had to be there. You know that. And take a look at this. Castle Rock Fire and Rescue says an exterior wall collapsed this afternoon. It's Gillespie's on the Old Stone Church. This is on 3rd Street in downtown Castle Rock. A structural engineer with the town of Castle Rock is currently assessing the building. The restaurant was in the initial stages of a 6,000 square foot addition when this happened. Gillespie says it'll be closed until further notice. It's the last day of January. We're going out hot.
Oh, yeah.
Going out hot, right? We hit 60 today.
Up again, over 60. Kathy's with us now. And we're heading for February, and not only are the months changing, it sounds like the pattern's going to be changing pretty soon as well, weather-wise.
That's exactly right. Probably sooner than anyone's ready. And February is typically one of our snowier months, so it makes sense. January goes out like a lamb, February comes in like a lion. But we'll just kind of hang on to today and tomorrow with temperatures above average in the 60s and lots of sunshine. We had a little bit of cloud cover come in from the south with a little upper air disturbance, but it has been dry basically statewide and so beautiful in the mountains. And we're about to add to the snowpack in a big way. Heavy snow coming in. We'll be measuring the snow in feet by next Monday morning. And these temperatures, these current readings are 15 to 20 degrees above average for this time of year. So we're setting our sights not on the high cloud deck coming up from the south and that little weather disturbance, but this system here moving on shore in the Pacific. It's bringing rain to San Francisco and what could be heavy flooding rain down to Los Angeles and San Diego. This is a warm, big storm, very typical of spring or March, and it's setting up in southeastern Colorado, so the counterclockwise flow will bring up the bands. But the one ingredient that we're looking at is missing some really cold air, so it's going to be weird, but we might have rain in Denver Friday and possibly into Saturday mixing with snow. So wet, slushy snow down here, several inches certainly possible, but the mountains and foothills will be looking at well over a foot of snow. Advisories for snow already going out into the high country. Winter storm watch will kick in Friday morning. Our temperature trend this evening is lovely in the 60s now, dropping into the 40s by 8 o'clock. And coming up in Maine weather, yep, sunshine in 60s this week, but not this weekend. Rain, snow, and colder weather coming in. We'll talk about the timing and the amounts in just a bit.
So France might not be expecting as big of a turnout as they originally thought for the opening ceremonies to the Olympics. Paris is now expecting about 300,000, about half of the original estimate. The opening ceremony will be a nearly 4-mile parade along the River Seine in July 26th. It's going to take place despite security concerns with France on a high terrorism alert. The last time France estimated the number of attendees was in May of 2023. It was up to 600,000. Paris 2024 organizers say the final decision on the size of the stadium will be taken at the end of the consultation process this spring. So hard to say.
You better be ready.
You start getting the RSVPs.
They're coming.
Right? Decide if they're coming? Okay.
They're coming.
The long-running doping saga involving a Russian figure skater ended this week. 17-year-old Kamila Valieva was banned for 4 years.
So they didn't actually award the medals in the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing, but this week the U.S. team now learned they're being elevated to gold medal winners. Valieva, just 15 years old when she tested positive for a heart medication, which can also boost endurance. The test results came to light after the figure skating team event where Valieva had led her team to the first place finish. But now her scores are disqualified. The medals thus finalized. Team USA now gets the gold, Japan the silver. The Russian Olympic Committee will still receive the bronze since the team was not disqualified. The U.S. figure skating team told the Today Show it's a win for clean sport.
The Olympic career for most of us is not that long, and so waiting 2 years has been really tough for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Most of us have moved on to other passions, and so this decision has been monumental for everyone, for our team, for clean sport, for all of the clean athletes who have been, have lost their medal moments in the past because of people who have doped. So I hope that there's been some joy, some solace, and for those athletes as well.
The team says they're still waiting to see how they will be actually presented those medals, but some of the names that became famous during the Olympics, you think of Nathan Chen and Madison Chock, among some of the other members of that team, now gold medalists, and because they didn't test positive for anything. They went out and won it for those who were clean.
Right. It took so long.
Yeah.
It's sad that, many of us, they've moved on. Good grief, many of us have forgotten it.
The drug test results came back quickly, but then you get into all the arbitration and legal wrangling over who did and who didn't, and the severity of we've seen. I mean, I think I go all the way back. It might have been 68 or 72 when an American swimmer, Rick DeMont, tested positive. It was an asthma medication. And you wonder who actually needs these medicines and who are using them as performance-enhancing drugs.
Well, I hope they do the ceremony right now that it's been this long.
Our show has offered to have the presentation
do it here. They could
right
come
here.
to 9 News at 4 o'clock. It'd be perfect. Why not?
We've got the time.
We've got the time.